Got questions about media? Wondering what's happening in the electronic world around you? Pipeline is a new broadband show that brings you the most interesting and controversial people who are making news in our times in the world of media. Join me, Matti Leshem, in the Retronym Gallery. Today's episode, legendary admin Jerry Della Femina, right now. Jerry, welcome to Pipeline.
Good to be here.
Jerry, you're an author as well as an ad man, a restaurateur, a writer. You were named one of the 100 most influential advertisers of the century. This century, last century?
Both centuries, actually.
Is that actually true?
Yeah.
Are you just saying
I've
that?
been around for so many years. Are you kidding?
But advertising is probably not more than 100 years old, really.
Well, it goes back to J. Walter Thompson or N.W. Ayer. It was a business of really old white guys who were basically waspy, and they sold time.
But it really was, in the 50s and 60s, was a white shoe business, right?
Totally.
No Jews, no Italians, certainly no blacks.
End of World War II, it starts to change, not that you can see it, but an agency called Gray Advertising. Gray was named after the color of their walls. They couldn't call it Wallenstein, that's too Jewish. They couldn't call it Strauss, that's too Jewish. So they decided to call themselves Gray. It was the first time anyone ever broke away from that WASP establishment. There were some small little fashion agencies that went into 1407 Broadway. These people were really basically nice Jewish guys who decided to go into the advertising business.
So how did you get your first job?
Real
job in advertising.
I hit on something. I started sending ads, blind ads to people. I would get the pictures, and there was a picture of a clown that from one of these old magazines, and my headline was, "Should you always leave them laughing?" And this was a little house ad for these agencies. I would take the ad, deliver it by hand to the head of the agency, and just put JDF at the bottom. So there was one agency that I went to, Daniel and Charles, and I put JDF at the bottom, and I sent him one ad one day. Then the next day I picked up and I gave him another ad. And by Thursday, he said to his assistant, who told me later, "Who is this JDF and what the heck does he want?" So I called up on Friday and I said, "Hi, I'm JDF. When can I come in for my interview?" And he said, "Yeah, they saw me." And we started talking. And he said, I said, "I want to work. I'll work for nothing. You don't have to pay me." No, I got to give you a token salary. He says, "What if I give you $5,200 a year?" And I didn't say anything. And I got into the elevator at 185 Madison Avenue, and I let out this scream, because it was the most any Della Femina had ever made in the history of the Della Feminas. I mean, I was now the highest paid Della Femina ever, and it was a token salary. What a business.
You've made millions in the advertising business.
Yeah.
Are you still the same guy? Are you still the same guy creatively? Are you still thinking about things the same way you thought about them in that first time the guy said he'd pay you $5,200?
Oh yeah, that's the only thing that keeps me going. Because if you stop thinking that way, if you really get comfortable, you're dead.
Let's talk about clients for 1 second.
Yeah.
You know, obviously the relationship between the client and the advertising agency is at the core of what you do. And I'm sure you've had some amazing clients and some pretty crappy clients.
Yes.
Talk to me a little bit, first of all, about some of your favorite clients.
My favorite client was a man named Jack Riley. He was the head of Isuzu. We did Joe Isuzu, the liar.
Obviously a legendary campaign.
A great campaign, but Jack was willing to take a chance.
How fast is the new Isuzu Impulse Turbo? About as 950 miles per hour said. The Impulse Turbo. Faster than a speeding... Well, you know.
Was that campaign better than the product?
Oh, God, yes. You could advertise that product. You couldn't drive it. People couldn't even pronounce the word. I couldn't pronounce the word Isuzu for the first 2 meetings I went to. The fact is that Joe Isuzu built that product. The Trooper became the #1 off-road vehicle sold in the United States.
Ziploc presents Fingerman.
Hi, I'm here to demonstrate an amazing achievement, introducing the new Gripper Zipper from Ziploc.